Hi, it's Ilkka again. The following video I have dedicated to Mr. Greg Melee from the Chicago Swordplay Guild. To help with analyzing all of the ass positioning, I have created a device. I have put a stick into my hips. With this device, it is absolutely clear where my hips are pointing at any given moment during, for example, an assalto. So, what we are going to do now is an assalto with a stick in the hips. This video will not be about power and speed. It will only be a demonstration of the hip positions during the primo assalto of Achille Marozzo. And while it's completely historically inaccurate, I will be using this to perform the assalto because I am tired and weak. And by using a lighter sword, it is easier for me to power the cuts with my hips. I've never done this before, so I've got no idea how this is gonna work. And if it's a good idea, maybe you can do it as well. Notice also, with this device, if I don't turn my hips, I cannot do the cuts, because I will get stuck. Let's see how it works with the assalto. We begin in Guardi test, up here somewhere like this. Notice the direction of the stick. I'm pointing it sideways, like 45 degrees in there. This allows me to throw the sword in front of me beautifully into the punta in falsata. From here I throw the mandriti, which are maybe two like this. Ooh, the stick has turned. How interesting. I make the parry and strike the reverso. The stick has turned again, allowing me to pull back and notice all this space in front of me for the falso, and then I turn here and finish the first part of the form. Then I do the parry with the false edge, just a slight one. Now the hips are forwards. And as I do this thrust, the cross thrust, what we see is that the sword and the stick are now in the same direction. Beautiful, isn't it? This also allows me to throw the falso in front of me like this and then go for the next cut this way, and then again the return is the same, so I turn the hips, I go back and I strike like this, ending with the stick roughly 45 degrees again to the side. I'll just go back a little bit just to make sure that I'm inside the frame. From here we go to the third part. With the beating with the false edge, I can turn the hips just a little bit if I want to, but it's not necessary. Then I go forwards like this. The sword and the stick are extended the same way. I come back, I strike the reverso, the stick turns, which it can't do if my hips don't turn. I go back, oh they turn even more. And I return here, and again the hips are going that way. Enter the fourth part. I have space for the little tramaccion here. I go forwards, and now, interesting, almost like a 45-degree angle. But this is in preparation for this thrust here. And now what happens, the stick is again in the same rough direction as with the sword blade there, and I have ample space for the cut to the legs here. And I cut with the stick as well. And I enter here, and we have now reversed the situation. Again, the sword and the stick, roughly in the same angle and direction. I go to thrust on the other side and reverse the situation again. I cut to the legs again, like this, and I pull back, strike the reverso, stick turns, I go back, I have plenty of space for this kind of thing here. Then I go for the fifth part, which begins with the tramazzone. And this is a little bit tricky because the stick is there in the way, but I mean I wouldn't be fighting with the stick, so not really. I beat the sword here, interestingly, almost like 90-degree angle, okay, no problem. Then as I go for the upwards cut, I cut both with the stick and the sword. I do the grab, I do this way, there are other options. The stick turns as I make this step. And I cut around again here, and I'll just return back because I'm pretty sure I'm out of the frame. Here, the sword is down, stick is pointing, the hips have turned. I cut the falso, and I cut around here. I can't go to the corolunga distesa if the stick is there in the way, but it's turned fully. Then I go back with these two steps, and I end in this kind of 45 degree or roughly almost 90 degree angle place here, which prepares me nicely for the volta dritta and the volta manca, which I do here above my head, turning the hips there, turning the hips back, and turning the hips even more when I go here. Now I have space on the left side for the falso cut here, and then I cut the tramazzone. Again, now the stick is a little bit in the way, but I wouldn't have the stick in a real fight. It's feint. I come with the roverso. I have to turn the hips, otherwise I don't have space. Then I turn the hips as I return with the thrust back, like this. Then we go to the sixth part, which is almost the reverse of that. So I turn the hips as I make the cross thrust here, and I pass forward, giving me space to go from the inside with, again, a falso, like this. I turn it around into a tramazzone, step forward, and then I simply return back with a forward cut and a downwards cut here. The eighth part is like super easy, we just parry. Notice hips turn. Hips turn again when I cut. They turn a little bit with the second cut as well. Could have done a little bit more there, but never mind. And they turn with the roverso. And the rest is as usual. We come to the ninth part. I turn the hips as I go for the crossing of the hands, and I trust hips have fully turned. I uncross, boom! I can even open at this stage if I want to. And I cut once, I cut twice, now stepping back, and then I parry again, go forwards, cut down, parry, strike, and I finish with the cuts as usual. And then we only have the 10th part to go. Come forwards a little bit. Here I go into guardia consentire, which I think is this, but I don't know. Then we do the embellishment. Again, hips turn back like this. From here, we're going to do a cross thrust. Notice, hips turn, 180 degrees. And I cut down to the legs, and I cut a roverso, again turning the hips. Then from here, I return back into guardia testa. Same as in the beginning, 45 degrees to the side, and I cut a huge mandrito, now turning into a proper guardia spalla. Hips are completely turned, completely sideways. And as I do the voltas, the embellishment from here, I do a goddamn full 180 degrees turning shit like this, and I come back here, and I finish in guardia di piede. Now, if you want to make your own hip stick, it's pretty simple. I can show you what you need. Firstly, you need these. And secondly, you don't really need anything else. So you need a stick, like the one on the floor. You need a roll of tape or something. And you need a Swedish Mora knife. What do you need the knife for? Obviously, you need the knife to get away from all the tape that's around you. Okay, see you again.